Hey everybody, Chiron here, and welcome back to another episode of FortressCraft. In just a second here, we're going to be able to get our handy-dandy orbital power transmission thingy. And then we should be able to kind of start working on that. Again, I have really no idea what it does. All I know is that you need about 100 million power to get it working. Alright, so what do we have here? We only have one primary PCB, and I think we have... Yep, so we have some tin plates in there. Alright. Let's get one more primary PCB in here. Let's pop in wherever they are. Oops. 6. And then... oh, we have enough. Huh, that was weird. Ah, well. I don't know. So we should have enough materials to be able to finish this guy up in just 1 second once it combines into, there it is, our research pod. Doo-doo-doo. And, yeah, this thing took a lot of power. I had to kind of draw power from absolutely everywhere that I could. It's because there was so much stuff that we were researching in here. It was like 225 research pods times 3 different kinds of pods. It's crazy. But anywho, go ahead and collect that up. I guess we could probably start the next one. There's missile defense and improved minecarts. Somebody else also said that you need a lot of defense for it. I'm guessing it produces a lot of pollution, and you have to make sure that it doesn't get attacked. So we'll go with the missile defense and see how that works out for us. Alright. And I think that should... yeah. It'll do for now until I can actually come back and fill it properly. Alright, so got a couple of things that we want to do. First things first, we need to take a look at this brand new orbital thingy. Where would it be? You would think it's in here, because it's a power transmitter. Let's see. Arthur turret. It might be in here, actually. It's all Arthur stuff. Do not see anything. Manufacturing plant, lift arm. Huh. So, where would this be? Orbital power transmitter is what we're looking for. Organic. Huh. Let's take a look. So, is there anything in context help? No. It's gonna be references. Machines. Orbital strike controller, orbital energy component. Orbital strike controller. Nuke the site from orbit. Don't think so. Alright, so accumulation will work on this planet, the OET. Be able to send enough energy. Our will quickly discharge. So we do need to protect the central power hub. The orbital energy transmitter, massive construction requiring 1,053 components in total. 1,053 components. Must be built 13 meters tall on a 9x9 base with a clear view of the sky. Okay. That's cool. but how do I build you? That is the question of the hour. Orbital energy transmitter component. So I broke my cardinal rule and I looked up information on this game. I know I like to figure everything out for myself, but this just wasn't making any sense. So we do have the orbital energy transmitter unlocked, but it's just, for whatever reason, not showing up in our list here. From what I've seen, it's supposed to show up down here in our blueprints, or are these just kind of utility items. So it's not showing up there. I'm not exactly sure why. I put a comment on the forums trying to figure out if anybody knows if I need to like have a secondary research or something, or if I need to upgrade my setup here, or kind of what's going on with this. But I am pretty incredibly stumped on what needs to happen. So yeah, there's really nothing in here. Like I can't upgrade my manufacturing table, and there's nothing in here that I can build it on in my personal crafting inventory. So I don't know. So what we're gonna do instead is we're actually gonna do a little bit of preparation. I did some research to find out kind of what the orbital transmitter is, and apparently you need a lot of prep. You need missiles. You need a way to transmit like 30 or 40 turbines worth of power to this thing. So we need to get a lot of stuff cooking before we can even do the orbital transmitter stuff. Apparently when you fully charge the orbital transmitter, your threat level goes up to like 20,000. So, and you just get attacked by some really nasty things. So in the meantime, until I can figure out what's going on with the orbital power transmitter, we'll proceed as normal and start working on some of the other stuff. So what we're going to need, probably a couple Mark V batteries, but it's an unknown material, so I'm not sure what that is. If anybody knows what this material is, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, we'll just have to make up some Mark IV batteries and kind of go from there. Oh, this store is 4.5 million. I would like to make these, so like I said, if anybody knows what component you need for these, please let me know and I will go find it. We are going to need some more jet turbine housing, jet turbine intakes. We're going to need some more laser transmitters and all kinds of stuff like that. And we need these missile launchers. Oops. We need these guys. So I think I'll just kind of AFK off camera and get those taken care of so that we can do those next episode. Alright, what else do we need? So the big thing we're gonna need is we need batteries, like I said. We need laser transmitters. We need the beefiest laser transmitters we can get. Those are pretty expensive though. We can only build like 2 of them. Let's see, what do these do? I don't actually know how much these actually transmit. I think these were like 170 max if you have the best lenses, and then these were like 1,000 or something like that. So once you get these sugar light lenses, that's when you can start making them. How many sugar light crystals do we have? We have 6. Topaz, we have 1. So I think we might need to actually go on a little expedition to try and find some of those crystals. Let's empty out our hoppers here before we go. There's also one other thing that we need to take care of that I don't think we actually did last episode. Was I intended to come back here and get our explosives so we could take out that hive, and never did. So the first thing we need to do is get this bad boy charged up. All of our power is pretty much being used down there, so I came up here. This is the feed that's coming from the turbine that we have up above. So charge level 2. We'll see if we can get up to charge level 3 on this guy. And then that should be good enough to take out the core. If not, we can always come back with another one. Let's see. I think 10,000 was a pretty big explosion. I was thinking, you know what? That's probably okay. I think we used 1,000 last time, and to open it up, so we have a pretty small way to go. All right. Let's head on over to Ye Olde Cave here. Let's get some light up in here so we can see what we're doing. Alright, let's get to the top here. So it looks like it repaired itself. Huh, that's kind of cool. It's not going to save it, but it's kind of cool. Alright. So there's our core. How close can we get? Probably right here. So we'll pop that guy in there. And Shift E. Alright. Let's take a look at our handiwork. Make sure that we got it. Oh, are you kidding me? Alright. Well, we'll have to go make another detonator for this guy. Not a big deal. And get them all charged up. Alright. And where are those detonators? There it is. So we need lithium plates, copper wires. Lithium plates and copper wires. Alright, so we should have an extruder. So let's, actually, I might have some. I have 3. So we don't need those. And let's put our machine back here before we forget about it. The coiler plant. Boom. And then we need some lithium plates. How many was it? 32 lithium plates per. Alright. So let's get some lithium going here. Alright, so that should get the lithium plates that we need, and then we can make another charge and get it taken care of. Alright, let's light this candle. Get this right in the core here, Shift E, and bail. Boom! What? So, it looks like my game bugged out. That explosive that we planted did work, it just nothing actually went away. So, I relogged, and everything's looking good now. It made this really weird shaped cavity. So, not exactly sure why that happened, but yeah. So the hive's gone. That's the important part. Alright, so back to work. So I do have a little bit of bad news. I checked on the forums, and as far as I can tell, there's really no reason that we should not have the orbital transmitter here. So, bad news, if the game is bugged and can't be fixed by editing a config or something like that, we might have to end the series early. as there's not a whole lot else that that we can physically do at this point if the orbital transmitter is not an option for us. So really all that's left is... Really, you're out of power again? So, yeah, so really all that's left is making more turbines, more power storage, and then that OET, so that we can, unlock that, the rush mode, and kind of complete the game and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So, we may have to end this episode early, just so that I can do a little bit of research on this and figure out what we can do about getting that OET back. But one issue I was running into is we were drawing so much power from this guy that it was actually draining all the power from those, and then our refinery is not able to make our high energy composite fuel. So one thing that I did see in the comments that somebody had asked about is why I have this little setup going between these two hoppers. It's actually because the turbine doesn't pull composite fuel from the end. You have to pull it from the side. So I can demonstrate that a little bit here. I just need to get this guy back up and running. So I'll just destroy you. I'll get you here. We'll put a lens in there, and then hopefully we'll start making composite fuel again. Yeah, so that'll just take a couple of seconds to get situated, and then yeah, so let's clear out our hoppers here. Have plenty of tin, which is great, but I think going forward we might have to start upgrading our mines for like nickel and titanium, because if we do need to make oodles and oodles and oodles of power storage devices, then that's going to be a problem. So what I read as far as the OET is concerned is you really want to make sure that you dump power into it as quickly as possible. So as you start to charge it, your threat level goes up and up and up all the way up to about 20,000. So what they recommend is you charge up 100 million worth of power in power storage cells, and then, or have the ability to generate 100 million power easily, and then just dump it all at once into the OET, get it up to max before you kind of run into a lot of attackers. So that's the reason that we need more of these turbines and things like that. It's not something we can just do gradually and just let it run for hours and hours. All right, there we go. So we have high energy composite fuel is in this hopper, but as you can see, the jet turbine is not working. If you take one of these slow conveyors, pop it in there, it moves the high energy composite fuel over to this one, and then it starts powering up. So it looks like they did not patch that or anything like that. You still do need to do that. The alternative is you take this entire refinery and you put it on the side of this thing, but I kind of like it lined up like that. Just personal preference. Alright, so I'm going to let that go for a while until we can build up enough fuel here and we can get these power storage devices charged up. And then I'll remove that and put our piping back in. Alright. So, these are energy transmitters. We'll need those, so we'll make as many of those as we can. But it looks like nickel is what we're gonna need. Oh, and some other person on the comments of the video said that, actually reminded me, that crystal is considered an ore, not a bar. So crystal can actually share from these hoppers to all of these other hoppers, so that's why we get crystal in these other ones. That was a derp on my part. So let's get that fixed up right now. Can I fix this? It'll look kind of derpy, but I think we can do it this way. And my inventory's full. What do we got here? Get rid of you, you. That'll be good enough. So I think we can do it this way. If I could actually find it. There it is. Like so. Transports. Crystals. And then like so. It looks a little bit derpy how it doesn't actually like feed into the hopper, but it'll be fine. Alright. And then we're going to do our turntable right up here, and then we should be good to go. Boom. Hopper right there. Get rid of you guys. And that should do it. So that will separate these out so that they're not able to share with the other hoppers. And we can just have these limited to bars. Alright. Perfect. And we've got some more high energy being created. Still not powering up these guys, though. They're getting a little bit of power, but I'm going to wait for those to get fully, completely 100% powered up before I take down that other transmitter. What are we doing here? We could probably start getting some gold in here. I think that's gold. I'm just going to double check. The advanced gold. Alright. And we do have some conductive PCBs, so we could probably hold off there a little bit. Let's, how many do we have? 40? So I'm going to make, put 40 bars in each of those to start making some plates. We can get rid of all of the PCBs that we have on us, and then we can start going through with the automatic distributor that we have here, and should be good to go. Alright, so I think that is actually going to do it for this episode. I do apologize that we weren't able to get into the orbital power transmitter, but unfortunately it's kind of out of my hands at this point. Hopefully the forums bring back some good news that we can eventually get that back, and we can kind of continue on the series. So I'll let you know what happens in the next episode, and we can proceed from there. So thanks for coming out, everybody, and see ya next time.